All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. And in this video, we're going to talk about the pay-per-view numbers for Gervonta Tank Davis versus Hector Garcia and a pre-release of the numbers saying that they were absolutely abysmal and so bad that certain people did not want to release the numbers because they had to verify that they were actually as bad as they were. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about Gervonta Tank Davis and his fight with Hector Garcia and the pay-per-view numbers related to that fight that are now being said, according to one source, are so bad that they won't release them because they have to verify that they're actually as bad as they were. Now, before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And thank you guys so much for your support. Specifically, thank you to the people like Matty Yo. Shout out to you, Matty Yo. I see you in the comment section. Thank you so much, brother, for the super thanks. And Mr. Pragmatic and Barber D. Thank you guys so much for that. And the super thanks is a little heart in the dollar sign that you can see in the lower right-hand corner of the video. All right, so let's get into this. First and foremost, Rick Glaser, and I had to make a video about it because it's just so mind-boggling to me that people continue to do this when what they're saying makes absolutely no sense to anybody that thinks even for a few minutes. So, as we know, Gervonta Davis fought Hector Garcia in Washington, D.C. on January 7th. Now, how did the fight do financially? What we know for certain is that it did over a $5 million gate, that there were over 19,000 people in the auditorium, Capital One Arena, in the arena, and that it set a record for the gate made for an event in that venue. Again, over $5 million. That, let me tell you, is a bigger gate than anybody not named Canelo Alvarez or Errol Spence Jr. is going to pull in a fight in the entire sport of boxing. Maybe Tyson Fury and Derek Chisora if they go to Wembley Stadium, right? That's how big a gate it is for Gervonta Davis against a guy named Hector Garcia. So we know full well that this is one of the biggest names in boxing, one of the biggest names in the United States in boxing for sure. But what is the statement about his pay-per-views? That they are so abysmal that we can't report them. We've got to go out and verify from a second source if this could be true. Now, what numbers are they going to give out? Does not matter. It'll be 50,000, 75,000, 100,000, 150,000, somewhere around that range, no more than 220,000 pay-per-views, right? Without a doubt. Here is the problem. The money does not make sense. And this is what I said on Twitter when I responded to this absolutely ridiculous claim. Because first and foremost, in what world do you have a fighter that can sell out an entire stadium, have ticket prices be $6,000 a piece, have everybody in the boxing world actually that you know, if you're a boxing fan, you more than likely watch that fight. Did you pay for it yourself? Did you watch it at somebody's house? Most of you guys have watched that fight. It wasn't some fight that went under the table that nobody heard of. But watch the numbers associated with this. Gervonta Tank Davis, when he tweeted after, I do believe it was after the Isaac Cruz fight. When somebody talked about a concert that was out and how somebody had made $13 million in an hour and a half concert. Gervonta Tanks Davis' response to that was that basically that he does that, right? He said 45 minutes is the tweet he put out. So he says that he made more than 13 million for 45 minutes. This was backed up by Leonard Ellerby, who says, yeah, it's like that. Now, would anybody doubt that would be the case for any artist whose ringside seats go for between $2,000 and $6,000 and sets records for for arenas? You wouldn't, right? He also said that he made 3 times as much as Devin Haney makes. Devin Haney, I do believe, makes between $3 and $4 million a fight. That also puts his money at about 12, 13 million. So why do I say that if you look at that, you have to know these guys are off and telling stories about these pay-per-view numbers when they say numbers like 50,000, 125,000, because the money for the fight is coming from a few places. One is the guarantee. We know what Gervonta Davis's guarantee is. It's $1.5 million. We also know what the gate is. The gate is $5 million. He is not getting 100% of that gate. Okay? Not getting 100% of the gate. If you conservatively say that Gervonta Davis is going to get he's going to get 50 cents for every dollar that's spent on the gate, that just say he gets half of it. $2.5 million he gets off of that gate. That is $1.5 million plus $2.5 million. And the last time I checked, that is $4 million. Coming between a $5 million gate and a $1.5 million guarantee. So if he's making more than more than $13 million, where's the rest of the money coming from? Do you think, Bob, people keep wondering, well, where is all this extra money coming from? Because you never hear Gervonta complaining about his money. You have Errol Spence Jr., who, when he was going back and forth with Terrence Crawford about the $25 million that Terrence Crawford had gotten for him from a hedge fund, where Errol Spence Jr. says, that's for you. I'm okay with how much money I'm making. Heavily implying that he anticipated getting more than $25 million out of that fight, right? You also have Deontay Wilder, who only coincidentally, when he's fighting, his numbers are perfectly fine when he's fighting with Tyson Fury. But when he's fighting anybody else, it's a complete and utter flop. However, he himself is saying that, no, I've made generational wealth for my kids, right? Over $15 million for these fights. But somehow, even though the gates wind up being around 10 million, I think the Vegas gate may have been closer to 16 million for Deontay Wilder over there in Vegas. But you get my point. With Gervonta Davis, it doesn't make sense. If he's making $14 million a fight and you can only account for $4 million of it between the gate and the guarantee, where's the rest of the money coming from? If he's doing 50,000 pay-per-views, 100,000 pay-per-views at $80 a pop, right? Because if he did 100,000 at $80 a pop, what is that? $8 million? He's not going to get that. Does not make up for the fact that he's giving 30 to 40% to the other fighter. You have to have at least 10% of that other money going back to Showtime. The numbers just don't make sense. But anyway, it's just amazing to me how, and I talked about this in another live stream, how it's always the fighters that are selling the big gates, the fighters that are doing the pay-per-views, and also keep doing pay-per-views. It's not like this is Gervonta's first, second, or third pay-per-view. It's like his 5th pay-per-view, but somehow they all flop, but yet he still winds up making more money than everybody else does. But every time it's a flop. However, and the gates, it's amazing how he's this anomaly where people want to see him in person and are willing to jump on airplanes and get hotels and buy tickets at exorbitant prices and be happy about it. But no, people don't want to pay $80 to watch it in their screen, to watch it in their living room. But yet miraculously, the guy winds up getting the money as if they paid him. It's constantly this story of the PBC flopping, the key PBC fighters ducking fighters, and then the people that are doing it turn around and blame them for what's wrong with boxing. How about you guys give people the credit they obviously deserve? Stop making up a bunch of numbers and from your inside sources that always wind up being the case where they don't do well. I could understand if nobody showed up to the arena was half empty, and then you said, well, look, nobody wanted to go to the fight, so people aren't going to pay 1/3 of the price to watch it in their living room. No, they switch it up and tell an even more ridiculous story, which is that all these people are willing to get on planes and travel across country and pay exorbitant prices, but they're unwilling to actually buy it in their living room. Or they all stole it. They all stole it. Like, please, they all stole it. That's why everybody knows, everybody watched the fight, saw the card. You're at no shortage whatsoever of anybody saying it, but it's pirating. Guess what? They had pirating when Floyd Mayweather Jr. was selling 3 million pay-per-views, 4 million pay-per-views. There was still a lot of, I'm not saying there's not a lot of people that didn't steal a fight. I understand that. However, there is a reasonable core group of boxing fans that actually buy the fights that they watch. But anyway, just kind of irritating. I had to let that out. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.